Hello everybody, Jen here. As you probably already know, Palfluid is an annoying resource to come by in Palworld. It is one of the only late game resources that you need a lot of that you cannot farm AFK or purchase from a merchant. I wanted to see what the best method was for getting Palfluids in terms of easiest to do, most AFK, cheapest, and fastest, so I went out and I tested a bunch of different methods that I believed would have some merit, and here are the results of those methods. Before going into the methods, I wanted to share my setups. First, for any method using a gun, I will be using the legendary version of the assault rifle. I will not be using any attack boosting pals, and additionally for any tests involving an Orzhok, I will be using a 2-star Orzhok, as leveling of the Orzhok does not actually increase the loot you get by that much. Each level is 10% added to the previous, so it is a 1.4 at level 1, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, and then 1.8 times at level 5. So each upgrade is much less than a 10% increase in loot on the previous level. At the end of my video, I will go over which method I believe is the best, and a pro and con for each of the worthwhile methods. That will be timestamped in the description, and there will be video chapters for you to go there as well. The first method I tested was the plain and simple method that most people will be doing at later stages of the game. That is running around the Godfin turf with a fast mount and shooting all the Godfin to death. This method does not use an Orzhok, and the rates of this method are also heavily influenced by how powerful your weapon is and what your attack power is. In 10 minutes of testing this method, I received 251 Palfluids and used around 1500 assault rifle ammo. So it was not cheap, and I don't think this method is worth doing. To compare, I went to a low level zone and killed lower level pals and received a very similar rate as I did at the Godfin turf. So you can do this at lower levels with a worse weapon. To be honest, there is not much of a reason to do this method at the Godfin turf. The second method I tested was to teleport back and forth between the Godfin point waypoint and your base. There should be 3 packs of 2 to 3 Godfin, and the rest of this method are also heavily influenced by your weapon. This method is also a very intensive method. In 10 minutes, I received 261 Palfluids and used about 1400 ammo, so again, not a very cheap method. This method also gave me only slightly more than running around on a mount. The next 2 methods I tested require a free base slot. To set up these methods, we will need to build a little tower in the center of a lot of Godfin spawns. I chose this spot right here as I believe it is one of the better spots to build. What you want to do is build a little tower like so, and then place a pal box on the top of your tower. To build the tower, you can utilize a little trick with a grapple like so. You want to place a door down with 2 walls above it, then shoot your grapple through the door, quickly switch to building a wall, and then place walls as you go up with your grapple. The first method with this tower that I tested was the cheapest method in this video by far, and also my personal recommended method. You can do this with any electric pal, but an Orzhok has that bonus to water drop, so I do recommend using him. Also, make sure your pal knows Lightning Strike, as it is the best AoE move. What you want to do is come to the top of your tower, pull out a weapon. I personally use the decal gun as it has 99 ammo in a mag, so I don't have to reload as often. You will then want to tag each group of Godfin with a shot to make them run towards you. Do this for every group of Godfin in range, and then wait for them to come underneath your platform. When they are there, drop your pal. Your pal will one-shot them all with the Lightning Strike ability, and then you can teleport out and then teleport back in. Once you teleport back in, turn your pal to passive mode and then throw him out so his ability can come off cooldown. You then want to tag all the Godfin again, wait for them to come underneath your tower, and then turn your pal to aggressive, drop him down, and he will one-shot them again. Each run should take about 50 seconds to a minute, which is plenty of time for your ability to come back off cooldown. In 10 minutes, I was able to receive about 245 Palfluids. This is by far the cheapest method and also the easiest method on this list. The last method is the most expensive but also the fastest method on the list. For this method, you'll want an Orzhok, a rocket launcher, and rockets. You will teleport to the top of your tower, drop your Orzhok, and kill every group of Godfin around you in a 360. In 10 minutes, I was able to get 302 Palfluids, and I used about 80 rockets. This is the fastest method by a good amount, but it's also technically the most expensive as each rocket uses pal ingots and a bunch of gunpowder. So what methods do I believe are worth doing? I would personally do the tower method where you pull all the Godfin, as it is the easiest method and cheapest method. You can do this much more easily at lower levels than the other methods as well. In an hour, you can get around 1500 to 1700 fluids, and it'll cost you about 500 ammo. Its big downside is that you need an open pal box slot, which a lot of people don't have. If you do not have that open pal box slot, I recommend doing the teleporter method if I have a good gun. This method is expensive though, and in an hour you can get about 1600 to 2000 Palfluids, but it will cost you 9000 ammo with a legendary assault rifle. The last method that I would recommend doing, and I think that has merit, is running around in a lower level zone on a mount and killing water pals like that. You can use any method of killing the water pals that you like, but if you are using a gun like the legendary assault rifle, it'll cost you about 5000 to 9000 ammo, and you can get about 1500 Palfluid per hour. This is the method that you can do at by far the lowest level, so keep that in mind. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and good luck, guys.